Good evening, everyone. Welcome, one and
Welcome.
all, to I'm Keith Flemming, joined by Kacey Kasem, my good friend. The K's,
Hey,
as
buddy.
I've been trying to get people to call us, is not happening, but that's okay.
It's cool.
And we're here like we have been every week this season, and we will be through the rest of this NFL season, giving you the 12 must know stats you should know.
Oh,
Um, we have pointed out some trends and other things throughout this year. And I know the playoffs, I believe, are official for most people next week. So this is obviously a huge week. I did try to add stats on some players that might actually be available. But either way, again, we appreciate all the support. We have
thank you.
had uh, quite a good bit of people
We
watching these videos each week
appreciate it,
and
y'all.
sending kind comments and stuff like that. So we really do appreciate it because me and
For
Kacey both love applause. Give it to us.
give
Oh
it
my
to
God. Woo.
us. I
Inject
just
it right into
really,
my
I'm
veins.
working on my speaking voice, trying to get that, clear. So, I appreciate people giving me a shot, giving Keith. Well, everybody gives Keith multiple shots because he's so awesome. We don't have to, the first shot is the best shot.
Ah,
There you go. You know what I'm trying to say. I'm really
I
bad with
do.
words. I'm really bad
I
with
think I think you're a lot better than
Well, that was
But
snobbish. But anyway,
best
let's get
decision
back.
I've made in a long time was asking you to do the show with me.
Thank you.
And again, like I've just it's been a joy. So
So
let's
let's
get
get
into
into some
week
words that actually make sense.
14. Goodness
14.
gracious, good Lord, that's a lot of weeks.
So many.
So it was not that long ago, Casey, that
Yeah.
the person this first stat goes after was left for dead. Let's be
Big
honest.
time. Big time.
I again he played for UGA, so I saw the talent that was there with Adonai Mitchell. We heard about the behavior issues and stuff. He ended up transferring to Texas. Again, dead giveaway that he seems to wear out his welcome wherever he goes. And when this season started and they had a competent quarterback in Indy, Daniel Jones, all of a sudden he was showing some stuff. And then came the Rams game, what should have been his shining moment where he got to really flash like I am that dude. He forgot to hold on to it going into the end zone.
Yeah. I forgot about that till you brought it up.
That ended that fairy tale for Indy and A.D. Mitchell. And it's funny that most people considered him a throw-in in the trade for Sauce Gardner. I don't think that's the case. I think the Jets knew what they could potentially be getting. Now, obviously, there's a risk, but people, we just saw this with George Pickens. We just
Yep.
saw this with George Pickens,
100%.
who I was standing for a lot more because that's my guy, but it's the same thing I was telling people. They were like, oh, he's a headache. I'm like, it doesn't matter when they catch passes. Like, yeah, being a headache is a pain when you're not winning, but you know what? It's okay if you're winning games. And all of a sudden, A.D. Mitchell, you know, pair him with another receiver for the Jets, Garrett Wilson. They got John Mechie. Like, this is something. So he had a 100-yard performance Sunday, the only 100-yard performance by a wide receiver Sunday.
Wow.
He caught 8 passes, 102 yards, a touchdown. Big thing, 36.3 target share. Good Lord, that's a lot of targets. Played 80+% of the snaps for the second straight week. And don't look now, this dude has a very fantasy friendly schedule for the playoffs as Jacksonville, New Orleans, New England. Hello.
Oh,
And he now averages, he's played 3 games with the Jets, 30.9 target share. By the way, that's good enough for wide receiver 8. And 51.3 receiving yards per game. Just to kind of compare and show, like, yeah, it's about the best you can do for the Jets. Garrett Wilson, I think we all think is a very good wide receiver.
yep.
Before he was lost for injury, he was averaging a 30.4 target share
Ooh.
and 56.4 receiving yards per game. So this is another team. I talk about the Giants all the time being maybe a good draft away from being a real contender. the Jets might literally just be a quarterback away
Mm-hmm.
from being a contender. Because you look at all the draft picks they have the next couple of years.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, they have 3 good young receivers that they want to keep. Breece Hall, who I think he's underrated too, just because he's been on so many crappy offenses.
All
Like
right.
Mason Taylor is a good tight end. Like they
Yeah.
have some talent there. And I was happy though for Adonai Mitchell because it's been a rough year for him. He's admitted it. He said it was a very harsh lesson to learn, especially because again, like he was basically gone 3
Right.
weeks after that fumble. He is very happy to be thriving with Tyrod Taylor and the New York Jets.
Wow. That was a lot of words that you didn't think you'd be hearing in 2025, but here we go. We've got elementary, my dear Watson. We've got some Christian Watson here.
A Reed Sports Center level right there. Well done, Casey.
Like I haven't been practicing. No, I'm scared. Here we go. So since returning from injury, that's 6 games. Christian Watson, 41% air yard share, 18.1 target share. We've got a 23.5% first read share, 60.5 receiving yards per game, and 3 touchdowns. His deep role paired with that increased usage. Top 10, no, but top 20.
I was like, let's not get carried away.
Let's not get carried away. I get really overly excited about some of these players when they come on strong, and I make them on a little strong too. No, top 20. That's what we're going to actually say. But still, that's surprising too.
No, it is.
Christian Watson is a top 20 receiver conversation guy. Like, that makes me happy. Obviously, I got to jump the gun here with the 10. I mean, I'll feel so happy if that actually happens someday.
Maybe you're Nostradamus. Maybe you're not jumping the gun.
It was a slip. It's top 20, but you guys know what I'm talking about. Christian Watson.
So what do you think it means when like his target share is 18%?
Yeah.
But his first read share is 5% harder or higher.
Mm-hmm.
That always confuses me when it's like you obviously design a ton of plays for this guy.
Yep.
Why are you not targeting him more?
To be in the mind
Your
of
guess is as good as mine. I don't know. I have no idea. I really don't.
There's a reason I don't coach football or anything, actually.
Well, you can make an argument that depending on what day, maybe LaFleur is not the greatest coach ever either.
Man.
So I need some therapy, folks.
Oh, yeah.
Everything's awful in Atlanta. We lost to the Jets. So I want to punish myself by going over just what is the cluster that it is being an Atlanta Falcons fan. So since week 9, the Falcons have a 92.9% success rate in the red zone, which is incredible. It's number 1 in the NFL by a super large margin.
Yeah.
For that stretch. The Rams second, 78.3%. It's also the second best rate by any team this basically this century from weeks 9 to 13. And you may be going, well, Keith, that doesn't sound bad. We're 1-4 during that stretch. We're 1-4.
1-4
with a 92% success rate in the red zone. Doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that means we're not getting in the red zone very much. And then if you want to look at it another way, Bijan tied for 3rd in NFL for most games with 100+ rushing yards. Drake London, despite missing 3 games, by the way, is tied 2nd in the NFL for the most games of 100+ receiving yards. And again, the Falcons are 4-8. Everything is awful. I don't understand what we did, but I think we're cursed.
At least you don't have Koo as your kicker anymore.
Oh, that was so bad.
I know.
I feel so bad for him. I like Koo too, man. That was my guy.
I do too. I said I did, but I still do. I still like him, you know. Poor dude. Here's another guy from Atlanta we're going to talk about. Kyle Pitts. You guys know Kyle Pitts?
Oh, we know him.
Yeah, we've known him for a little bit. He's now led the Falcons in target share during all 3 of Kirk Cousins' starts, posting 29.0%, 21.7%, and 24.2 target shares in those 3 games. And he's averaging 55.3 receiving yards per game. That would make him tight end 8 and 11.5 fantasy points per game, tight end 10 within that sample.
I mean, I do want to just throw out the caveat. Drake London has yet to play in a game.
Yeah.
Or Kirk Cousins. So that would obviously probably affect this slightly, but I think it's fair to say that Kyle Pitts isn't angry about Kirk Cousins being
No,
the
I don't think
starter right now,
anybody
not
would
Michael
be.
Penix, because he's getting targeted
No
at a
issues, he
much
said.
higher rate. Another guy from the NFC South who I'm sure if you have been saving this guy, waiting for him to come back and save your fantasy season, you're very happy to have Bucky Irving back. And despite, man, all the BS, if we're just going to go ahead and say it, from Tampa's coaching staff and front office about, oh, he's going to be on a pitch count and we're not going to utilize him that much. Okay, so he went out immediately, had 81% of the rush attempts, all rush attempts inside the 10. I mean, hell, I think it was Tucker and White had 7 touches combined. So
Yeah,
it's basically, again, the Bucky backfield,
Yep.
if we're saying that. And the only thing that did take a ding was the target share, 7%. So again, like his rushing workload was almost identical. He was seeing closer to a 15% target share entering that game. Remember, he has a small sample size, only played 5 games. And, the first month of the season, he's averaging almost 19 points per game. I'm not worried about the receiving. They're going to rise. Remember, Tampa has every wide receiver, apparently except Chris Godwin, who is now healthy, basically injured. He's 9th on the season in route participation. And again, a 13% target share is very high for a running back. I think that there is a very good chance that Bucky could be a fantasy football hero for the playoffs, because Tampa's going to need to lean on them or lean on him, because, again, their passing game is just taking so many hits. Baker is banged up. Like, we don't know week to week whether him or Teddy Bridgewater is going to start. And Bucky is the guy you can do that. His 4.09 yards per touch this season, 6th among running backs. His 34% juke rate is 2nd among backs. And he scored at least 14 points in every game he's played this season. So I think Bucky is going to go on a heater to end the season, and that'll be good for all the people that patiently waited for him to come back. Hopefully you still make the playoffs, and he's a key piece of, getting you a chip, as the kids say.
As those kids say. Well, the kids aren't saying that Tua Tagovailoa is going to really help you get that chip. I mean, if you look at this, he's only exceeded 26 pass attempts once since week 7. He attempted just 23 on Sunday. And since that point, the Dolphins ranked bottom 3 in pass rate over expectation. Somebody who has been helping you out. Yes, he has. Devon Achane. He's averaging 107.3 rushing yards per game, which would lead the NFL, and 21.8 fantasy points per game. That's RB4. More importantly, the Dolphins are 4-2 since they shifted over to being very run heavy, like extremely run heavy. Also, Achane would have had a huge day if he hadn't dropped a likely receiving touchdown after getting 2 consecutive carries at the goal line.
Yeah, that was a little disappointing. As somebody who has Achane and a bunch of leagues, I was not thrilled about that.
Checking that out.
I got to admit, I'm shocked that the Dolphins players are fighting for Mike McDaniels. And everybody just assumed he's done, right? Like, he's done. And I am in the camp that I think he's actually a really good coach.
Yeah.
I do. I think he's had some terrible injury luck. Now, don't get me wrong. Part of me was hoping as a greedy Falcons fan that if he got fired in Miami, whoever our new coach is, maybe they bring him as offense coordinator, or maybe he would be our new coach. But I think that they're going to keep him. And I think they should. Again, like, it's pretty impressive when your season is over. It was over early for them, and now they're 4-2 their last 6, and doing it a way we have not seen from Mike McDaniel.
I was going to say, not this generation. Nope.
You're not airing it out right now. Let's talk about the Houston Texans, which I probably need to pump the brakes, but I think the Texans offense is rounding into form at the perfect time. And they have a great defense. We know that. I think they're a sneaky play to win the AFC. I think the AFC is wide open. I think their defense is good enough to carry them. But I really did like what I saw out of CJ Stroud and the offense on Sunday. We obviously saw Davis Mills and the offense kind of get going the previous 2 weeks. I mean, they all of a sudden have a lot of weapons like Woody Marks, Nick Chubb. That is, at least a combination good enough to give you a RB1 that you can rely on. And then like these pass catchers, Dalton Schultz, he's hit 20% target share 4 of his last 5. But it's the guy, Jayden Higgins, because we know Nico Collins is that dude. Nico's that dude. Like he's always going to, scare opposing defenses and put up numbers. But I think giving Stroud that real second target down the field, not just somebody like Dalton Schultz who's just going to move the chains, is huge because Higgins, he set a career high in receiving yards of 65, and he has now seen at least 5 targets in 4 straight. He's not even running that many routes or playing that many offensive snaps. So, again, it gets into what we were saying about Will Watson. They definitely want to get him the ball because when you're not on the field all the time and you're still getting 5+ targets, that means that it's a priority. And I think that, again, as this season goes on, he's a rookie. He's only going to understand the system and everything better, and they're going to trust him more. But I think the Texans are a sneaky Super Bowl and, AFC title contender.
Well, a Texas team in the Super Bowl, that's not exactly what I want.
Could be the Cowboys still. Don't be, don't write them off yet.
I mean, I am a Cowboys fan that writes them off every year just because I hate being disappointed.
They look really good.
I like being excited. So
you beat the Chiefs and the Eagles in what, like 10 days?
Yeah, sure. Yep, we did. Me, us. Okay. Let's talk about 2 wide receivers who saw the same dead even at target share. What? Michael Wilson and Marvin.
The worst of both worlds.
Yeah. Michael Wilson and Marvin Harrison Jr. were dead even at a 17.5% target share each. That's lower than Wilson's 30.8% over the previous 2 games, but it's still his highest in a game with Harrison active all season. It was also Harrison's lowest target percentage yet in a full game with Brissett. And he'd averaged 25.9% over the previous 3.
Don't forget, too, that Brissett, another top 12 QB week. He is just, at this point, again, there should only be about 8 to 10 quarterbacks that you're even considering starting over him. He is what you dream of, just an automatic 15 to 25 points every week. Like, to me, that's the dream. When you don't have like a Josh Allen or, like that you've invested in. Let's talk about Ashton Jeanty, because this stat at first glance is pretty boring, but give me a second to explain this. So he commanded a career high 34.8% target share in week 13, which that is an enormous target share for a running back for 1 game. Don't look now. He's seen 8 targets in 3 straight games. Those not good at math. That's 24 targets the last 3 weeks for a running back. And I get it. Like, it is. It's difficult to quantify. Well, what is, so-and-so's target share? Like, is that really that high? Is it not that high? It is very high for Jeanty. And if you want to know how, Bijan Robinson and Jamar Gibbs have combined for 0 games their entire career with a 34% or higher target share. That means that if this continues, Jeanty is going to become like Gibbs, CMC, Bijan, these guys that can have good fantasy performances some games in the pass, some games in the run, and then obviously when everything's working, they're going to have these monster games. So if you're a Jeanty owner, there is a chance he is going to have some monster games down the stretch if he continues to get targeted this much in the passing game.
Excellent news for a few of my fantasy rosters.
I needed that. Thanks.
Bringing that stat up. James Cook, he saw all 4 of the backfield carries inside the 10, but failed to score. That marks the first time Cook hasn't scored across 6 games. The Bills have won by multiple scores this year. He still averages 127.5 rushing yards per game and 26.4 DraftKings fantasy points per game in that sample. So
Let me ask you something. If
Yes,
the
sir.
Bills and the Patriots played in the playoffs tomorrow, New
Mhm.
England's hosting, who do you think would win?
Jeez Louise. I'm gonna go. Oh man. I'm gonna go with the Patriots.
Okay.
Just yeah, I like to
Because part of me
mix
wonders
it up a
if
little.
Mahomes gets knocked out, like, and does
Yeah.
not get in the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
Is it going to be Josh Allen's turn, right? To
Yeah. I mean,
get
that's what
all the
we've been
calls and, you know what I mean? Just
hearing.
like carry his team
Right.
to victory. I keep saying, I think the AFC is so freaking wide open.
It is.
NFC, I
That's
think there's only
true.
like 2, 3 teams that could
Right.
probably actually win it.
Yeah.
AFC, man, you could
AFC
seriously
is.
convince me like 6 or 7 could end up
Mhm.
winning it. And some of them are
I
6 and
agree.
6, which is
Yeah.
insane.
I agree with
Uh,
you.
man, does this warm my heart? Because this has been my guy for a while. If you've been a JMO truther, of course, I'm talking about Jameson Williams, since the end of the league 4 years ago, it has been a roller coaster of emotions, people. A lot of ups, a lot of downs. One of the most frustrating players, and even I'll admit this as somebody who drafts him every year, to own in fantasy because he is the king of the feast or famine games.
Mhm.
This season, he's continued that trend. He has 5 games with 18 plus points, and he has 6 games of 6.6 points or less, and 2 donuts. It's just incredible the way he can go on swings. But since Dan Campbell took over now a month ago, it's been good for JMO. He's came alive. He's entering week 13. So before this past game, previous 3 games, 10 receptions, 200 yards, 2 scores, 43.6 fantasy points. Again, remember, he did have a 0 because it is Jameson in that stretch. But during week 13, something happened that could potentially change his outlook for fantasy moving forward. Because I've always said if he just gets the volume of a number 1 receiver, look out. Because everybody just thinks, oh, he's just a deep guy. That is not what Jameson
Look
Williams is. He's
out.
actually so good after the catch. He's good on short routes. Like they have St. Brown, so they use him for all that stuff. And Jameson does run along. But St. Brown got injured. And then JMO proceeded to showcase exactly what it could be like with him being the dude in a good passing offense. 144 receiving yards that led all wide receivers for week 13. Scored a touchdown for the 5th time in his last 7 games, or excuse me, his 5th game in his last 7.
Yeah.
And now we're looking at St. Brown missing at least 1 to 2 weeks, giving him another opportunity as the team's number 1 passing option. And oh boy, earmuffs, Casey. Is there a great juicy matchup waiting on Jameson Williams and the Dallas Cowboys? Again, it's even more juicy because I think Dallas is going to be able to score at will on Detroit. If you've seen Detroit's passing defense, it is not good. So Jameson Williams, if St. Brown ends up missing, say, 3-4 games, and they're off about this, Jameson Williams will be like at the top of the list. I guarantee you of players on championship teams because I think that's kind of his floor, what we saw last week. He's going to be scoring 20 points a game because if he's going to get 10 targets, he's just too dangerous with the ball and he scores all the time. Like he has one of the higher touchdowns per reception, percentages in the NFL since he's been in the league. I'm excited for him, man.
Yeah.
Like I think that dude is so talented. He's still so young. And if he wouldn't have got injured, I think coming into the league, it wouldn't have taken this long for us to kind of get to this point. But I'm telling you, very similar to when David Montgomery went down last year, and everybody was like, oh my God, this is what Jamar Gibbs is unleashed with, no reins, no snap counts, no nothing. I think we could see a very similar thing with Jameson, with St. Brown out.
And finally, let's talk about one of our favorite waiver wire ads of the week. This
dude's a beast.
This dude has been my dude. He was my dude before the season started. He got injured. But look, let's talk about Brenton Strange, okay?
Let's do.
Strange returned from injury 2 weeks ago. If you didn't know, you need to go check that out. And he proceeded to put together consecutive tight end 5 weeks, seeing a 16% target share, 88% catch rate.
Hello.
and an ADOT of 12 plus yards in both
CT Law
games.
can throw it to somebody down the field
Who knows?
with accuracy. It's just Brenton Strange. Who
It's
knew?
Brenton Strange. He just needed to be there. Strange ranks in the 90th or best percentile among tight ends in first downs per route run, YPRR, and yards per target over expectation.
He's, by the way, in the 100th percentile for blocking. Like,
Is
he
he
is
really?
he's a true difference maker.
Okay,
Somebody
buddy.
that helps
Love it.
both the run game and the pass.
Those are the best. The Jags tight end has a fantastic schedule ahead of him for the rest of the season, okay? 5th easiest among all tight ends, including 2 games with Indy, who ranks 31st versus tight ends. Once this week, and then again in the fantasy playoffs.
That's music to my ears. As somebody who has Brenton Strange in several leagues,
It's nice.
that is fantastic news because you want, like, tight ends playing the Colts. You want, believe it or not, tight ends playing the Jags.
Yeah.
And then there's one other team. There's like 3 teams that are all, it's the Bengals. Like,
Okay.
they are
I was gonna say, I don't
like the worst defenses versus tight ends
Yeah.
this century.
Yes.
Like,
Okay.
both
Yes.
of them
Yes.
are actually higher. They're like allowing more points, more yards, all that stuff
Oh,
than any other team
Brenton
this century. So if you
Strange.
play DFS again, you want to be attacking those 3
Get
defenses.
strange with it. Get
Yeah.
strange
Ooh,
with
I like
it.
that.
There you go.
Want to get weird and strange? You want to do strange stuff with my fantasy football lineup?
I don't know if this is that kind of show, bro.
Hello.
Hello. Didn't-
Oh, we just got censored. That's
Yeah,
okay.
it's okay. It
Um,
happens.
Casey,
Yes, sir.
week 14, kind of
Mhm.
scary. Like, it's all, winding down. I don't like
Yes.
it's cold as hell in Atlanta today. Like,
Oh yeah.
I hate this time of year.
Yeah.
End
I
of
love
football
it.
season.
Well, that part sucks. That part sucks.
Well, you live in Texas. That's like living in the armpit of America. So it's going to be warm there all the
It
time.
got cold. I forgot to turn my heater on up here. I was seeing
What was it in
seeing
there?
cold.
What was it when you
In
woke
here,
up?
it was 57 in my
Woo!
office.
Ooh.
But
Yeah.
whatever. What are
I
you
always
gonna
love
do?
that first really cold morning where you don't know to turn the heat on and you wake up and you're like, damn, it's a little chilly in here. And you go look at the thermostat and it's like 62. It's like, good Lord. You
Yeah.
get that heat going. Then you get that smell.
Yeah, then you get the smell. Yeah, and it's been hot, cold here, so I should probably turn the heater off now.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
Laziness has its perks. Anything you want to plug before we get out of here, Miss Casey?
Oh yeah, I would love to plug. I have a drop article out over at Fantasy Six Pack. That is an article telling you who to drop if you're in need. Now I have a bunch in my head, so if you need any extras, you can always ask. Love it. You could go over to SundayDreamersClub.com to get you a fantasy football T-shirt. They make excellent gifts for the holidays. People stock up. I've got my big draft energy shirt on.
Yes.
There's a bunch of fun, and there should be more coming soon. But yes, that is what you got from me. And check out this show, obviously.
We need to come up with a shirt for this show.
I
that you can make.
know. Okay, we will.
Something snazzy
Brainstorm. We'll get it.
and witty because, we're both so smart, even though I'm literally drawing a huge blank right now. But
That's
as
okay.
you can see, Brittany has
life.
put up the Christmas tree. She did fantastic job. I really
Great
do
job.
appreciate her doing this each year because, since it's December 2nd, you're going to get an entire month
December.
because, I like to talk and do shows of seeing the Christmas tree in the background. So, again, with, getting near the end of the season, very thankful for all the people that are part of the Fantasy Six Pack family. And, I hope that you close this year on a heater, not just in fantasy football, but in life in general. But we'll be back next week, week 15. Have no fear. We'll be here. Look at me rhyming and stuff.
Hey, buddy.
I'll let you, boy. But for Casey and Keith, this is the week 14 stats you need to know. We'll see you soon.